it's supposed to feel.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? Holy crap. Yesterday, the day before, my video got taken down. It was the Virginia Giuffre one. This is the email I got, right? Listen to this from YouTube. Hi there, we're reaching out because members of the YouTube community, including fellow creators, viewers or staff, have expressed concern for your safety or well-being after coming across your content with topics related to self-harm. That was the Virginia Giuffre has died, took herself out. If you or someone you know is experiencing suicidal thinking or self-harm, know there is help and you're not alone. It's not uncommon to turn to suicidal thinking and self-harm as ways to cope with painful emotions. Talking to someone can help you process these emotions, as well as get support through a difficult time. We encourage you to use the resources listed in our help centre if you need support. These include organisations specific to your location. You can also Find a Helpline to look for local mental health care providers. We care about, really? You care about me? Oh my goodness, you wouldn't think so. You are not alone and help is available. Please take care, the YouTube team. Well, let me tell you right now that I have not and will not ever think of taking myself out. Okay, so if I do go, someone investigate it, please. Okay, well, then they put the video back up that they had taken down after reviewing it. And then one of our football teams decided, or I don't know what decided it. Okay, maybe the AI picked up on it, but the football team, the AFL, not the team, the whole football genre, whatever you want to call it, the AFL decided that, no, they were going to stick with their copyright of the Anzac ceremony before their game, and kept the copyright. Now I can't even cut that bit out of the video to get it back up. But anyway, okay, just let's get over that bit. And that threw me yesterday. I'm like, what the it's not about me. What in the hell is going on? Okay. Hey, Deb, how you going? Out to lunch. Yes, tomorrow is today. Kai, how you going? I bitched a good bit at YouTube about blocking her video yesterday. Oh, God love ya. Timmy, good to see ya. I was getting worried about you there. Oh, thank God. Honestly, you sound like you've been through the ringer, mate, and I'm glad you're okay. Deb said, I'm now calling this my therapy group. Our doctor's in the house. Good to see you. Hope you're improving. Hey, Eyes, how you going? Your channel is hidden. This is your real name. I hope you're well. Oh, God love ya. Hi, honey. Hope you're well. Long time no speak. It's Eyes. Yep, I got that. Yep. Okay, and who else is in here? J1, D. Lee, how you going? D. Lee, I did get your email about Virginia Giuffre. That made me go and look, actually. Thank you, D. Lee, because that made me go and look for the news. Okay, I said, please hit the like and notification bell for Hev. Thank you. Deb said, there does seem to be an issue with the thumbs button. Oh, really? Crazy. Okay, well, let's get into some news. Now, I've got some things that I can talk about on here and things I'm going to have to talk about on Rumble. And also, I want to go to Rumble maybe tomorrow because there's some videos I want to react to. Now, we can have a call in and you guys can jump on and watch with me. It's like a watch with me, but they're YouTube videos. Obviously, I can't play them on YouTube, but I've just watched 2 or 3 videos this morning that kind of inspiring, kind of very informative, and we're not the only ones feeling the way we do. Hey, Del, how you going? Good to see ya. Okay, let's get into this news anyway for a start. Will Kingston said Anthony Albanese, Prime Minister of Australia, is fundamentally out of his depth. He's been struggling to swim as Prime Minister ever since he got the job. John Howard. Okay, Mr. Eyebrows here. The one where the Port Arthur thing happened under this man's watch, and for that he decided to do the gun buyback and start restricting, okay? We're going to have a listen to what he's got to say about Anthony Albanese. Now, he wasn't good himself, so if he's saying this about Anthony Albanese, then we're screwed.
I'm sure he's a well-intentioned man, but he's fundamentally out of his depth. You know, that description derived from struggling to swim. And I think he's been struggling to swim as Prime Minister ever since he got the job. Now, you can say somebody's too arrogant for a job, too something else. You know, I dealt with a lot of Labor leaders. Bob Hawke was the standout. Bob Hawke, in my view, and I stress the adjective I'm about to use, Bob Hawke has been, in my view, the best Labor Prime Minister Australia's had. Now, even though I disagree...
Better than you, mate? Because he was a Liberal Prime Minister, wasn't he? Oh, my goodness.
Agreed with Bob Hawke on many issues, particularly on industrial relations issues and on some other economic and foreign policy issues. I never thought he was out of his depth. I thought sometimes he talked nonsense, as he no doubt thought I talked nonsense. But I never thought he was out of his depth, whereas I do feel that Anthony Albanese, he's just not up to the job. And I think that's coming through with a lot of people.
Okay. Now, that man, not this one here, but the one we were just listening to, he also helped to sell Australia out, okay? So he's not good either. Okay. And that was the man that Port Arthur happened under, and, yep, the guns and everything happened under that. Okay, Mr. Red Pill's Joker Kwame? Do the Vatican run the world? Now, I can't play this on here. This is going to have to go into Rumble because there's music behind it, and I'm not going to play it on... Same as this one. This is unbelievable. We can watch this one. This is our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. He's turning out to meet the people. There are no people there. Okay? The cameraman has to walk up and take one of his pamphlets. Look. Oz Integrity said, when no one wants Albo, they have to stage the news. You're being fed staged garbage. And this happens a lot more than people think. John Paul Berg said, fuck the Crown, we've become a Labor colony for oligarchical interests. It doesn't matter who becomes the new warden. This is the way, Canadians. It's the only way. Donald J. Trump said, good luck to the great people of Canada. Elect the man who has strength and wisdom to cut your taxes in half, increase your military power for free to the highest level in the world, have your car, steel, aluminium, lumber, energy and all other businesses quadruple in size with zero tariffs or taxes. If Canada becomes the cherished 51st state of the United States of America, no more artificially drawn line from many years ago. Look how beautiful this landmass would be. Free access with no border, all positives with no negatives. It was meant to be. America can no longer subsidise Canada with the hundreds of billions of dollars a year that we've been spending in the past. It makes no sense unless Canada is a state. So the subsidies will stop unless Canada becomes a state, which probably were in the first place. I don't know. This one's going to have to be a video on its own. The Port Arthur Massacre. I'm going to do another video on that. And another one. And another one. Okay, let's go back to here. Andrea Schaefer. Okay, Islamification of America, Pennsylvania. Quran 8:65, the unbelievers are stupid, urge the Muslims to fight them. Despite the home of Governor Shapiro being firebombed by radicals a couple of weeks ago, announces the largest grant in history for a new Islamic centre in PA 2 weeks ago. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has unveiled the state's largest ever grant to a Muslim organisation, allocating $5 million to the Al-Aqsa Islamic Society in Philadelphia. The funding aims to bolster the society's community centre, which Shapiro described as the centre of the universe for local residents. Speaking on the significance of the grant, Shapiro emphasised the vital role of robust community institutions in combating rising hate and navigating global tensions. Don't bring them here and there won't be hate. The investment will facilitate a significant expansion of Al-Aqsa Academy, an educational facility currently serving around 300 students but facing a growing waiting list. I wonder why. You're importing even more. The $5 million will support the creation of 12 new classrooms, a gymnasium, and additional community spaces. Will the ladies be able to use, or the girls be able to use the gymnasium? Probably not. Ostif Hussain, a chairman of the Al-Aqsa Islamic Society, stated that the expansion is geared toward establishing an academic centre of excellence, enhancing educational and community services for the region. WHYY reports Governor Josh Shapiro joined in an iftar dinner at the Al-Aqsa Islamic Society in North Philly to announce a historic grant from the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program, the largest ever awarded to a Muslim organisation. Shapiro told the assembled group of a few dozen community members Tuesday night that institutions such as Al-Aqsa, I don't even know how to say it, are more important than ever before in the current climate as we're facing tumult overseas and we're facing a lot of rising hate here at home. Well, stop importing it and you won't have any rising hate, you pickle. So I'm really proud that we've been able to work together with your leaders here to invest $5 million in making this place an even greater centre of activity in the community. By the way, probably using your taxes. He told the group as they enjoyed a dinner of shawarma, hummus, rice and pitta. Yeah, no. Wrong way, mate. What has Trump got to say about this? Surely Trump has something to say about that. I want to know what the comments say now. He's so pathetic. The blatant display of pandering isn't going to make them like him. They're using him for political and financial gain. They still hate him and all the Jews. If he thinks otherwise, he's not as smart as advertised. So Al-Aqsa are more important than ever before in the current climate as we're facing tumult overseas, and we need to bring Al-Aqsa businesses here with the same name as Al-Aqsa flood. It looked like the enemy within to me. Any trader who would facilitate an invasion, twist the meaning of things, present evil as good and good as evil, would open the gates for such an invading army and call it a good thing. Yeah, I agree. Oh, shoot, what happened there? There it is. That's crazy. So we're all facing the same thing, the Islamification of all of our countries. And that was the whole plan. They want to create chaos because they can rule over the ashes after everyone's fought and burnt it all down. Okay. We know it's going to stop. It's going to stop. It'll get to the very edge, the precipice. You know that one? Cillian said, breaking. It has now been confirmed that almost 110,000 Irish patriots attended yesterday's anti-immigration protest in Dublin. This makes it the largest protest in Ireland's history. The Irish want their country back. I don't blame them. Look, they got chemtrails there, look. Okay, Wall Street Ape said, yesterday I made a post that went viral of a young couple showing it cost around $40,000 to have a baby in America today. Baby boomer generation explains how when there was no health insurance, she only paid $300 to have a baby. Something is very wrong in America. People asked, well, how did baby boomers afford to have children back in the 60s and early 70s if there was no health insurance? Other than employer health insurance, there was no health insurance. So when I had my first child in 1969, it cost a total of $300. That was everything. There was no health insurance, you just paid cash. So the doctors couldn't charge very much because there were no health insurance companies to pay for it. So health insurance, does it rise the cost of things? Does insurance raise the cost of things? Look at home insurance. How much do you pay for home insurance, home and contents insurance, and how much do you ever claim back? Like some people might, their house burns down, they claim the whole thing back. But normal people who don't go and burn, like don't have accidents or have fires happen, they never claim it back. So all they're doing is paying. I don't get it. I've wondered that for years. Okay, anyway, let's have a listen to this lady here.
Some people asked, well, how did baby boomers afford to have children back in the 1960s and early 70s if there was no health insurance? And other than employer health insurance, there was no health insurance. So when I had my first child in 1969, it cost a total of $300. That was everything. And then a couple of years later, I had my daughter, and it was a little bit higher. It was $1,000 for everything, visits in hospital, everything. But there was no health insurance. You just paid cash. So the doctors couldn't charge very much because there were no health insurance companies to pay for it. So if you require health insurance, or you put it in a legally required format, then all of a sudden the prices just shoot up. Ask yourself why. When you put an insurance company in the middle, why does the price that you have to pay go up? Some people ask.
Very interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I have a thing with, for years I've thought, why? Why insurance? Like, why when like my mum and dad never claimed on it. They had their house since 1978 or 79. They paid insurance every year. They never had to apply for that insurance. So, is insurance like taking money off people, okay, who are never going to claim for the ones who are? Is that another socialist thing going on with insurance companies? Anyway, just a question I have. I'm not saying anything that's true or anything. By the way, everyone mentioned here is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything mentioned here is theory unless proven otherwise. And until proven otherwise. More like until, not unless. Elon Musk shared this. Robots will surpass good human surgeons within a few years and the best human surgeons within 5 years. Neuralink had to use a robot for the brain, computer electrode insertion, as it was impossible for a human to achieve the required speed and precision. Yeah, this scares the hell out of me. Mario Norful said robots can now help with surgery and they're actually good at it. I don't know, because I can see both sides of this. They might be better than a human who can make mistakes, but it scares the crap out of me. Like, what if someone programs in they need their left leg removed when it's actually the right? Or, I don't know. Holy shit. Robots can now help with surgery and they're actually good at it. Medtronic tested its Hugo robot in 137 real surgeries, fixing prostates, kidneys and bladders, and the results were better than doctors expected. Complication rates were super low, just 3.7% for prostate surgeries, 1.9% for kidney surgeries, and 17.9% for bladder surgeries, all beating safety goals from years of research. The robot got a 98.5% success rate, way above the 85% goal, meaning it didn't just pass the test, it basically set the curve. Out of 137 surgeries, only 2 needed to switch back to regular surgery. One because of a robot glitch. Holy shit, that's what I'm worried about. And one because of a tricky patient case. This doesn't mean robots are replacing surgeons tomorrow, but it does mean your next doctor might have a very expensive metal sidekick. What's this? Tiny dissolvable pacemaker could save newborns and adults. A new dissolvable pacemaker, smaller than a grain of rice and powered by light, offers hope for newborns and adults with heart defects. It can be implanted using a syringe, avoiding invasive surgery. About 1% of infants are born with heart issues, often needing a temporary implant for 7 days to let the heart heal naturally. In low-resource areas, this can be fatal due to limited medical access. For adults, traditional pacemakers involve sewing electrodes onto the heart, with wires exiting the chest, risking infection, tissue damage and clots. This innovation could reduce those dangers significantly. Yeah, well, this kind of thing I agree with. I don't know. I don't know why I'm having such a problem with robots. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to get used to that idea because, like they said, there was a glitch, you know, because of a robot glitch. You'd hate for that to happen. Okay, Drea Humphreys said the 30-year-old Vancouver man and suspect in the Filipino mass festival murder was known to police. Are we tired of hearing that yet? They're all known to police. All these suspects who do these type of things are always known to police. So apparently he drove through a crowd of people and took out quite a few of them. Okay, LT Australia said, not in my country, vote the Greens-controlled Sharia importing Albanese Labor government to a political oblivion on Saturday, please. Cashier said the barbaric act of forcing a 14-year-old girl to sign a marriage contract with a 40-year-old pedo. This isn't a religion, it's a cult that practices the degeneration of women and enshrines barbarism. Not in my country ever. Okay, now this poor young girl's being forced to take the pen, put it in her hand, and she's passed out because someone's squeezing the wrong part of her neck. I don't know. She went limp for a minute there. They're trying to make her sign it. Is this what we want in our country? I don't think so. This is crazy. So, yeah, I don't want that here. Okay, Josephine Cashman was responding to Senator Gerard Rennick, who said, welcome to country should not be performed at Anzac Day services. It's disrespectful to our veterans and must stop. We are there to pay our respects to those who served our country and remember their sacrifices. Josephine Cashman said, we're living through a time of great deception, a total war theatre designed to make us fight each other. Worldwide, they use devices such as the Welcome to Country phony performance PSYOP as seen in Australia, the US, Canada and New Zealand. Insider traders John Howard, who we've seen at the beginning, and LBRY bought in the Welcome to Country psychological operation. exposing Aboriginal Australia to ridicule. A phony land acknowledgement performance also seen in the US, Canada and New Zealand. This is a global plot to scapegoat Indigenous people everywhere. Okay. UN drip. I don't know if I can play this. Is there music behind it? Let me have a look quickly. Okay, I'm not sure if that is actually covered under the censorship, so I'm going to read it. Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, UN DRIP. The forum will make recommendations on Indigenous peoples' collective rights to land, territories and resources. UN Indigenous land title is communal title, with no private property rights. UN Indigenous land title covering 80% of Australia by 2030. The device for UN land grabs. Justin Trudeau, US Department of Arts and Culture. John Howard brought in the UN Welcome to Country acknowledgement in 2007. The device to erode Australians' connection to their own country. Priming people for gradual acceptance of collective land leading to no private property rights. For the dystopian corptocracy, you'll own nothing and be happy. Spokesperson for the UN claims New York City for UN land grab. Now she's saying something here. I don't know if I'll play this on Rumble as well. UN actor claims Manhattan Island. Yeah, they use people to do things like this, okay? They use the Indigenous people. Australia endorsed UN DRIP in 2009. UN DRIP is a recent innovation in world governance. Voice Treaty Truth is a device to activate UN DRIP. To commence UN land grabs. Using UN designated Indigenous land title over 80% of Australia. Voice Treaty Truth, the device to install global governance, Great Reset and global control. UN Rights of Indigenous Peoples Council member, Megan Davis. Drafted the Uluru Statement, the Voice and UN DRIP. The UN needs to compel Australia to bring in their agenda. The UN needs to just die. The UN needs UN DRIP to compel nations to cede their land for total control. Okay, now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to bookmark that again because I'm going to play that because there's a lot of music behind it and stuff as well. And I'm going to set up a folder for Rumble. Okay, so that's what that was about. Yeah, they shouldn't be doing it at all. Okay, here we go. Adam Bant, one of our politicians here in Australia, I think, is he the Greens leader? Yep, Greens leader. Bloody idiot. To the First Nations people witnessing their warm and gracious cultural practices, they didn't have any warm and gracious cultural practices, attacked by neo-Nazis and weaponised for political gain by Dutton. What? No one in Australia likes a welcome to country, mate. But this is because they were getting booed at, okay? This should not be happening. We are with you. This always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Kurt Malberg said, your last sentence here is the problem, Adam. As long as Australia is perpetually framed as Aboriginal land, the rest of us won't really be welcome now, will we? No, we won't. See? This man is a freaking idiot. Honest to God, please do not vote for the Greens. And the Teals, put them last with Labor just above them and Liberal just above them and preferences all the way through. And I'll show you a picture of the voting card, okay? Zuby said people underestimate how many of their beliefs about the world and its inhabitants, both at home and abroad, have been programmed into them by the media since childhood. And they have. Because everything from television, movies, music, magazines, books, you name it, has programmed certain thoughts into us. Okay, look at feminism. Major example of it. Rob Smith said Anthony Albanese is currently being heckled every time he's out of his controlled environment. He is heckled. Well done, Australia. Keep going. Kobe Thatcher, the Trump only cares about the rich crowd, have been very quiet lately. Donald J. Trump said when tariffs cut in, many people's income taxes will be substantially reduced, maybe even completely eliminated. Focus will be on people making less than $200,000 a year. Also, massive numbers of jobs already being created with new plants and factories currently being built or planned. It'll be a bonanza for America. The External Revenue Service is happening. That sounds really good, guys. Okay, Adrian Reese, Libertarian for Hume, said early voting has started. Here's my how to vote card for the electorate of Hume. Now, of course, they'll have different people here, okay, in these cards. Let me show you. This is New South Wales Electoral Division of Hume. You number them, all of them, okay? From your first, what I would do, right, is, I don't know, I'd probably put Helen Ducker first as One Nation. I would put Reese Adrian second as a Libertarian. I would put Troy Wozniak third. Brian Siddell fourth. Liberal fifth. Labor sixth. McLean 7, the Independent 7, and Greens 8. Okay, so Green should always be last. On this one, Senate ballot paper, election of 6 senators. Step 2, then number the boxes above the line. As shown, you must number at least 6 boxes to make your vote count. Now, I'd put Pauline Hanson's One Nation first, but that's just me. Like, you choose what you want to do. If you want to be Libertarian first, you go there. Okay? So I'd put Pauline Hanson first. I'd put Libertarian second. I'd put Trumpet of Patriots third, Australian Christians, Family first, and then Liberal Nationals. And do not number any boxes below the line if you do this, okay? So below the next line, I believe. That's what they're talking about. Anyway, what's his name? Topher Field has done another video on voting. Okay? So that's just how I would do it. But then again, you've got to look at the people themselves as well. What do they stand for? Like in some places, okay, if it was Dutton, if you were voting Liberal Dutton, I would put Labor above Dutton. So that he, like, honestly, that's what Trumpet of Patriots was trying to do. When they said they would vote for Greens or Labor above Liberal in a certain electorate, and that's to knock Dutton off the top perch. So someone else in the Liberal Party, and there are sensible people in the Liberal Party, to let them take over. Okay. Anyway, you've got to watch a lot of stuff, especially from the senators. Like, you've got to watch them and listen to them, and you'll understand that there are a couple of good people in the Liberal Party. Not many. There's only a couple of them. But you've got to find out who they are. Kenneth Richards said, new study. Defying climate models, Central Africa is colder today than any other Holocene period. Mean annual air temps have declined from 25.5 degrees Celsius 7,000 years ago to 22 degrees Celsius today. A 2.5 degrees Celsius temperature drop in 7,000 years exceeds current model predictions. So when they tell you you're going to die because it's heating up, okay, no, you've got to be more worried about the cold than the heat. And I can feel where I am that it is getting colder. This year, not so much like at the cold. Well, it's hitting tomorrow. From tomorrow, we're going to have a maximum of 12 degrees Celsius. Okay? It's not going to go above 18 over the next week. So we're down from, we were averaging low 20s. Now we're averaging low to high teens. We're not going into 20 degrees again for the foreseeable future. Okay, Veritas Vox said Club of Rome 1970s announcing the pending climate disaster and its breakdown of society for the early decades of this century, 2020s. It's happening right on cue because there's no computer. They were just announcing their plans. Yeah, there's no computer models. They were just announcing what they want to do. Now, I don't know if this has got music in it, so I'm going to see if I can play this.
The Club of Rome then held a press conference where they announced that the computer had predicted that the world was heading for a disaster.
From a very large number of computer runs, making various assumptions, adopting various maxima and minima, there is in fact a general forecast of a breakdown of world society in the first decades of the next century. We regard the MIT report as an extraordinarily important initial pioneering effort. It's opening up a great new field of research on the world as a system.
The Club of Rome published a book called The Limits to Growth, which laid out Forrester's world model and its frightening conclusions. It was a bestseller, and it transformed the debate about the environment. Because Forrester's model offered a way of conceptualizing the problem that seemed to be scientific and therefore neutral. His vision of the world as one interconnected system seemed to transcend politics and the petty interests of nations. Then, in Stockholm in 1972, the United Nations held a conference for the first time ever on the world environmental crisis. And the international bureaucrats who ran it turned to this idea of the world as a system to provide the conceptual framework. The world needed to be managed in a new, non-political way to avoid the threat of global collapse.
Now, this is the beginning of a debate. Nobody's decided precisely what the limits are. One can question whether it's 2010 where we all collapse or 2050 when we all collapse. But what is absolutely certain is you cannot run a planetary society on the total irresponsible sovereignty of 120 different governments. It simply can't be done.
Makes sense.
The Club of Rome
now.
then held a press conference.
Yeah, they decided they didn't have computer models. What they had was their own ideas, how to control the whole world. That's what it was all about, and it still is. And that's what we're fighting right now. That's what Trump's fighting. Okay, Mario Northall said data breach, health data of 4.7 million patients sent to Google by mistake. Blue Shield of California spent almost 3 years accidentally handing over sensitive health info, names, medical claims, family data, and even doctor searches to Google without telling anyone. They were trying to track website clicks, but thanks to sloppy settings, Google Ads got a backstage pass to patients' privacy from April 2021 to January 2024. No hackers needed, just old-fashioned human error from a billion-dollar company trusted with your medical secrets. The real kicker? Regulations like the FTC and HHS had already warned healthcare companies about exactly this type of disaster. Google insists it did not target ads based on the leaked health info, but should we really be giving big tech any free samples of private data? It's crazy. Okay, I got a package coming today. Jim Ferguson said, breaking, British towns targeted, Starmer, Serco and the betrayal of a nation. Keir Starmer is partnering with Serco to flood proud English towns with illegal young men who have no loyalty, no empathy and no intention of integrating. Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, Leicester, Nottingham, the list grows. No vote, no choice, no voice. Serco profits, you pay the price. This isn't immigration, this is deliberate displacement. What this means, Serco, a private company, is profiting from housing thousands of illegal migrants. Towns across the northwest, Midlands and east of England are being actively targeted. British taxpayers are forced to bankroll their own national replacement. While British veterans sleep rough, illegal migrants get free housing and services. This is mass demographic change by design. This is a betrayal at a national level. Starmer serves Davos, not Britain. This is a war on our communities, and the time to stand is now. Say no more. Yeah, I feel sorry for you English honestly, and Irish, and all of Europe, actually. Jeez Louise, mate. Okay, Clown World says finally someone called it out. What's this? Okay, let me just adjust the volume here because that might be a bit loud. I don't know.
Every time we hear a Hispanic name on TV, whether or not the anchor is Hispanic, we suddenly have to shapeshift into a perfect Hispanic accent. Police arrested 25-year-old Ilan Alain Sanchez. And I mean that honestly. Why do we do that? When I say Alejandro Mayorkas, I just say Alejandro Mayorkas. But on CNN, it's Alejandro Mayorkas. I'm Irish. When police arrest someone with an Irish name, I don't say, police just arrested 25-year-old Charlie McLaughlin. I just say, police arrested Charlie McLaughlin. Like, stop that. Stop. And it's for all of these reasons and everything that I just mentioned that America elected Donald Trump in 2016 and then elected Donald Trump again in 2024. Every time we hear a...
Oh, that is so true. That is so true. Even I try and say the names right. Although I've got an Australian accent, so it probably sounds a bit bogan. Okay, anyway. But that's true. We don't go, oh, Paddy McLaughlin, you know. We just say Paddy McLaughlin. Rob Smith said, I'm watching that. They probably sounded the same anyway. Rob Smith said, I'm watching the debate on Channel 7. Anthony Albanese was asked if he had President Trump's mobile phone number. Albanese replied, oh, I don't know if Donald Trump has a mobile phone. That's not how it works. The president is having a mobile. There, he's got one in his hand right there. I'm sure he could contact him if he tried, but he doesn't want to. That's the problem with Anthony Albanese. He doesn't want to speak to Trump. He's scared of him. Paul Weston said, not a single British taxpayer wants hordes of Afro-Islamists imported into our country, especially when none of them are actually seeking asylum and none are checked for their criminal history. PM Starmer wants them, though, even as he admits to the problems of insufficient housing supply, lack of government money, insane NHS waiting lists, and the not inconsequential instances of rape, machetes, violence, and other such delights of third world criminal savagery. There is no moral, ethical, logical, or even compassionate reason for importing dubious foreigners into our heartlands. So why does he do it? Because Klaus Schwab, you'll know nothing and be happy. And they have to create chaos so they can create order out of chaos. There can only be one reason, really, and it's not terribly heartening. They are here because the government intends to inflict authoritarian measures upon us at some point over the next few years. Lockdown 2 based on XYZ, probably climate, perhaps even a cancelled 2029 general election. It'll probably coincide with government-controlled central bank digital currency and a whole raft of digi-tyranny, facial recognition cameras associated with 5G net zero UN Agenda 2030. I suspect it will also coincide with the British military cleared out of the country and sent to Ukraine. Starmer doesn't think the British police are reliable when it comes to enforcing tyranny, which is why he is garrisoning fighting-age Afro-Islamists in every town across the country. They will be used against us. One wonders if they all have military training. One wonders if they'll have access to paramilitary weaponry come the day Starmer gives the nod on the instruction of von der Leyen, obviously. I might be quite mad, of course. Perhaps there are any number of perfectly rational reasons for importing and paying these foreign fighting-age hordes to live amongst us. But I have to admit I'm utterly stumped as to what they may be, those reasons. Other than, and I've thought this too, I thought that during 2020, that the police in Victoria were not our police. Were they imported? Were they UN police? The ones shooting rubber bullets at protesters and things like that. Gunther Eagleman said congressmen and women do not deserve $200,000 a year, not even close. And I would agree with that here in Australia as well. They do not even deserve $50,000 a year for the job they are doing because they're not doing it well at all. Okay. David Given was replying to Rudy Giuliani Rudy was right about everything. America's Mayor Live. Give back Rudy's law license. David Given said, the Bar Association has become an army of the globalist radical leftists and should be defunded, disbanded, and barred from ever having any sway on American jurisprudence in the future. And they should, because the bar is corrupt now. And it's the same in every country as well. Okay, Jack Pozo said Black Hawk pilot Rebecca Loback ignored key instruction before DC crash. Report claims. Do you remember the DC helicopter crash? It was a couple of months ago, I believe. Yep, January 31st. The New York Times has reported that the military Black Hawk pilot, Captain Leback, I don't know how to say that, ignored instructions to change course that could have averted the January 29 plane crash in Washington, D.C. The crash killed 67 people and prompted an investigation into aviation safety with plans to upgrade air traffic systems. Tammy Duckworth said victims are still in the water. The Black Hawk crew is still strapped into the cockpit. Families are mourning, and Trump is blaming DEI. Yeah, it is. Suggesting our pilots and air traffic controllers don't deserve their jobs. Well, that woman didn't. We need compassion and leadership. Our president showed none. No, he did. And he pointed out exactly what the problem is, because the Black Hawk pilot, Rebecca, ignored key instructions right before the crash. So there you go. We were right, DEI. American AF said Karen Levitt absolutely cooks a French politician who says that the US should give back the Statue of Liberty. Oh my God, this is getting funnier and funnier, seriously. Let me have a look.
And something different.
That's loud.
There is now a member of the European Parliament from France who does not think the U.S. represents the values of the Statue of Liberty anymore. They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country.
And so
Exactly. Well done. Okay, leading report said the breaking the female pilot of the DC helicopter crash in January was reportedly given several warnings by her male co-pilot to turn before the collision. And she didn't listen. Yeah, I saw that too, MJ. That guy claiming to be Jesus. He's a Muslim. Okay, and his right said this self-proclaimed retard thinks he's the rightful next pope. Looks evil to me. Self-proclaimed Mahdi says he is the descendant of Jesus and Muhammad. Let's have a look.
Has anyone else seen the video of this self-proclaimed Mahdi? Now, if you don't know what a Mahdi is, in Islamic eschatology, it's a person that appears at the end times to relieve the world of evil and injustice. And he's also said to appear before Jesus Christ returns. Now, this Mahdi's name is Abdullah Hashem, and he is an Egyptian American who is saying that he is descendant of both Muhammad and of Jesus Christ, and that he is the rightful next pope.
The successor of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, the successor of the Comforter Ahmed, the successor of Simon Peter, the successor of Muhammad, the successor of Jesus Christ. I am the true and legitimate Pope. I am the proof upon the Christians. I am the son of the Muslims through my father, and the son of the Christians and the Jews through my mother.
Abdullah Hashem is the founder of the Peace and Light religion here. With everything else going on in the world, friends, I really just don't feel like I need to tell you what this means. But I hope you have eyes to see and ears to hear. God bless.
Holy guacamole. There you go, MJ. You read my mind. See? I had it bookmarked. That's crazy. Let's hope not, eh? Yeah, we know what they have in mind. They want to turn the whole world Muslim because they're easier to control. Mischief said over 100 illegal immigrants were arrested at an illegal underground nightclub in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Should they be loaded on a plane and shipped out? Hell yeah. See you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Wow. And Gunther Eagleman said they really are this dumb. When everything is horrible, but you can't come up with any examples of why. Let's have a look.
Brought you out here today to the Bernie Sanders rally?
I don't like what's going on in our country right now. I'm just kind of disgusted by it.
What's the biggest risk?
Oh, gosh. What would you say, Dan? Well, I'll let you speak to that.
I don't know. I don't really care for the language that's being spoken right now in the country.
Can you give any examples of specific language?
Nope. Not a one.
Let me think about that.
So many things, I don't even know where to start. I would say, oh gosh, Dan, help. This is...
Yeah. What's changed over the last couple months post-Biden administration for you guys?
Oh gosh. Once again, where do we start? Okay, you go for this one.
Just a whole list of things I can't even think of right now.
Brought you out here today to the...
They've got absolutely nothing. Just the language being spoken right now. Huh, okay. They got no idea why they're protesting. They're being paid to protest. Conor McGregor said over 106,000 Irish men, women and children attended yesterday's rally. No, not one social order incident to report. Tremendous. Onward for Ireland. Onward and upward, guys. Go. C3 said Doge confirmed the Clintons stole US aid money meant for Haiti relief. Evil, which we already knew. But at least we've had it confirmed. The Toronto Sun said Wilmington Company Carney formally chaired lists apartment on Isle of Man as headquarters. He has no loyalty to Canada at all. The Salty One said after many unlawful decisions which caused immeasurable harm to the people of New Zealand, this bitch gets what? An honorary degree in civil law. Get the fuck out of here. Bloody disgusting. Jacinta Ardern to be awarded honorary degree from Oxford University. What, like Bill Gates got his honorary degree? They're not actually, they haven't actually done any degree at all, but they're getting given an honorary one. Bill Gates got that too. Okay, Mick Amias said this isn't exactly a great look for Queensland Police. How's them DEI policies going? Clown Down Under said a Brisbane man was arrested at the scene. This is a man, and the person on the ground is a police officer, a woman. The other one behind him is also a woman, police officer. I wonder if this has got music behind it. Can I play it? Oh, of course it's got music. Jeez. Okay, let's just have a look. Policewoman. Okay, the man's got her on the ground. This is why I say police women shouldn't be on the front line. Neither should they in firefighting. Unless they actually can, they pass by merit and do the job properly. Okay, he's got one. She's gone off to hide in the bushes now. The other one's trying to pull his pants down or something, hanging onto his legs for dear life. Okay, now 2 others get here. Both women. Again. Okay, they're both women. So there's one on the ground, one in the bushes. These 2 women. Hey, what would happen if there was like 2 men? They wouldn't be able to do the job, mate. Come on, this is ridiculous. Look, merit over sex, gender, whatever, whether you're disabled, no matter your skin colour, merit comes first, guys. We cannot have this. It took 4 women to try and hold down 1 man. Oh, no, there's more there now. Hang on, there's a man there. Yep, the men had to come in. See? 4 women couldn't do it, so they had to get the men in. Okay, now we've got gays against groomers. We're witnessing a paraphilic demographic of men who get gratification from dressing up as little girls now. Oh, we have had for years. I remember watching some lunatics think they're a baby and had a mum and dad feeding them with a bottle and wearing nappies about 10, 11, 12 years ago. Equality and acceptance do not mean exposing the public to sexual fetishes. TQ plus activists continue to normalise perversions in public for an audience of children. Okay, let's have a listen to this one.
There's a huge transgender group of men who like to identify roleplay as little girls. This is very concerning because we are starting to see these men dress up like infants and little girls and live out their fantasy and fetish in real life at playgrounds, arcades, places where children play. And how many of these transgender men will take their fetish to the next level with a real little girl? There's a huge
mental illness. Make asylums great again, man. That's disgusting. Jeez, mate, seriously. Now they're going into, like, video game arcades and that, are they? Yeah, look, honestly, I'm waiting for the day I see one in a public toilet because I'm screaming. I am going to let out the biggest howl you've ever heard in your life, and it's going to be, get the f out of here. What are you doing in here? Get out. Go to the men's toilets. They're just there, right next door. They always are. Anyway, that's just me. Betty Johnson said, update, it's now been 10 hours that they've been sitting here. Betty Johnson's... My mic's falling down. What is going on here? Hello, Mr. Mike? What is happening with this mic? Okay, Betty Johnson said, pathetic Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffries have been throwing a tantrum over Trump on the Capitol steps with activists for 6 hours straight. This is beyond sad. And then it went up to 10 hours. Okay, they're just sitting there. Nothing else to do. So they'll sit on the steps and just protest Trump. MJ Truth Ultra said Democrats are so fucked. Adam Schiff is so fucked. They've laundered billions of dollars through ActBlue as political donations. The auto pen gave Schiff a pardon that Joe Biden didn't even know about. Donald Trump has it all and he has them by the balls. TikTok, MFers. Donald J. Trump said hopefully ActBlue, the Democrats' illegal scam used to raise money, including from not allowed foreign contributions, is being looked at by authorities. The Dems only know how to win by cheating, something which they do better than any group or party in history. But now with their terrible policies and candidates and people like crooked Adam Schiff, who demand a full pardon from Sleepy Joe leading the way, it's almost impossible to reach their money goals. USA is wise to these scoundrels and crooks. Also, why did the auto pen give Schiff a pardon? Biden knew nothing about it. Who operated the auto pen? That is the biggest question being asked in DC. They almost destroyed our country and should be in jail. Do you think it was Nancy Pelosi, Hillary, Obama, Schiff? Who do you think had that auto pen? Dean Scoriecco. A crazed lunatic mows down and kills 11 people in Vancouver 2 days before the election. Vancouver cops and BC government says you and I aren't allowed to know anything about the mass murderer. They might tell us after we vote. Well, it was a Filipino man who was known to police, by the way. Yes, of course it was. They're always known to police. Ed Lynch said our visitors walking about the town with knives. These people need to go. Ireland is not safe. Carrick Macross, Ireland. And this guy is walking around with a knife. Threatening people? I don't know. Looks like it. Yeah, it shouldn't be like this, guys, and it won't be for much longer. We just got to wait. Mick Amias said, holy shit, this is hilarious and messed up. Made in Germany. For killing cockroaches, they cannot escape. I just thought I'd throw this one in there. Oh, look, it's running. But that's like, I don't know. I don't like cockroaches, but it is a bit of torture, you know. It's like the mouse trap, you know. Let the cats have them. Yeah, and try not to spray bugs in your house if you have cats, because the cats will probably eat them, and the spray will poison them too. Chicago One Ray said, is the pardons allowed by AutoPen? No, because the Constitution requires the president be present for a pardon to be issued. Trump is calling for the arrest of people who are operating Biden's AutoPen. Those pardons must be rendered null and void. And that is very true. Yep, it's the president who's... And if he's not all there, he can't pardon anybody. We have it all, said the left, losing their minds. Oh, is that Salty Cracker? Hang on a sec. If there's no music, I can play it, but let me have a look. I don't know, but this looks like Salty Cracker to me. Is that Salty Cracker, like acting? This is a Colorado bust, I believe. Yep. We have it all, said Colorado's full of this crap. DEA Rocky Mountain led a multi-agency enforcement operation along with our local and federal partners early this morning. DHS Gov has taken more than 100 illegal aliens into custody. Drugs and weapons have also been seized at this underground nightclub in Colorado Springs. There you go. Okay. It's not salty? Okay. Someone else doing it then. Insurrection Barbie said propaganda versus reality. The Vatican asked Pope Francis' funeral attendees to wear all black. Trump wore a blue... This is how the media portrayed it, right? And Trump wore a blue suit. Well, they edited out all the other blue suits, including one of the young princes, okay? There were a lot of people in blue. I believe dark blue and black are both fair enough colours to wear to a funeral. And I wonder what the blue means. Because they always have meaning in these things. It's very interesting. Okay, Rad said they never hide their agenda, but hey, it's a conspiracy theory. Explore how Melbourne can become a true 15-minute city for a more sustainable and accessible future. The 15-minute city, Monday, 12th of May at 6 p.m, Fed Square. Oh, dear God. Who drew this? A child? Probably. And what's this from? What's on Melbourne Vic? Gov, free event at Fed Square, Melbourne Conversations. Yeah, well, a lot of people should go there and say no. Thank you. No? Nope. Okay, Catherine Herridge said, exclusive, Secretary Rubio on Canada, 51st state in the hot mic moment. Herridge said, I'm in a hot mic moment. Canada's Prime Minister said that absorbing Canada is a real thing. Is it a real thing? Secretary Rubio said, yeah, look, you know how that came about. The President's meeting with Trudeau, and Trudeau says, well, if you even out our trade relationship, then we will cease to exist as a country. At which point the President responded very logically, and that is, well, if you can't exist without cheating in trade, then you should become a state. That was his observation there. Question, that's how it started? Secretary Rubio said, yep, that's how it started. And Catherine Herridge said, exclusive, our full unedited interview with Secretary of State Marco Rubio on his first 30 days leading the department is 42 minutes long. I will share it, so if anyone wants to look at that. Bill Dobell, OAM, said from a veteran point of view. Oh, hang on. That's better. As a veteran who's done two tours, let me be clear, doing a welcome to country at dawn service is not just tone deaf, it's a spit in the face of every soldier who served, suffered, or died in a war. Anzac Day isn't your woke stage. It's not some cultural festival. It's a sacred moment of remembrance for the brave men and women who fought and died, not a soapbox for bureaucrats to tick off their reconciliation checklist and virtue signal to the ABC crowd. We didn't get welcome to war. We weren't doing cultural acknowledgements in firefights. We were bleeding in foreign dirt, watching our mates die, while you lot were still debating pronouns in Parliament. Shoving this performative garbage into the most solemn moment of national respect is not unity, it's theft, stealing focus from the fallen for the sake of political theatre. If you want to honour the dead, shut up, stand still and remember them properly, without the fake applause and ceremonial box ticking. This isn't about race, it's about respect, and right now you're showing none. Yep, that's exactly it. That's to our, I'm talking to our leaders when I'm reading this out. Derek Evans said former Hollywood producer Aaron Russo exposes the Rockefeller family. Let's have a listen to this. Oh, hang on, I've got to check my volume. It's going to be loud.
That he was at the house one night, and he would talk, and he started laughing. He said, Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about? And I said, I had pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote, you know? And he started to laugh and said, you're an idiot. And I said, why am I an idiot? He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded women's lib, you know? And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, and you want to know why? He says, there were two primary reasons. And they were, one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before women's lib. And the second reason was, now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think, which breaks up their family. The kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them. And so those are the two primary reasons for women's lib, which I thought up to that point was a noble thing. You know, when I saw their intentions behind it, where they were coming from when they created it, the thought of it, I saw the evil behind what I thought was a noble venture.
There you go. See, they invented the women's liberation movement, the Rockefellers. So that's what I mean by programming. Yeah, it's just they've done it all through our lives. We were born into this, being propagandized against, programmed, led, whatever, however you want to say it. That's what has happened up until hopefully very soon. Well, some of us woke up years ago, so it depends on when you woke up. Senator Babette said the government treats hard-working entrepreneurs like garbage. It's only a matter of time before talented people leave for countries that value and respect them. Our nation is rapidly descending into a Marxist dumpster fire with leaders who seem determined to make everyone dependent on the state. I fear nothing will change anytime soon, as the Marxists have infiltrated all of our institutions. We're heading the way of Argentina. We are. Exactly, Australia's heading the way of Argentina. Hopefully people wake up before then, like before Saturday. McAmia said Aboriginal man wants to re-immigrate all white Australians from Australia. Same Aboriginal man wants to abolish Anzac Day. He also says Aboriginals aren't Australians. Waiting for the government to issue a press release condemning these comments. Well, okay, if Aboriginals aren't Australians, why are they not getting re-migrated somewhere else then? Half caste, okay. Yeah, okay. He's not a full Aboriginal, okay? He's one of their paid little lackeys. A little activist, okay? Let's have a look.
Yama, as a First Nations person, I am calling for the deportation of European Australians for not conforming to the cultural and the traditional norms upon First Nations lands. And I'm going to say it again. I call for the deportation or the repatriation of European Australians to England for the non-conforming to the cultural and the traditional norms upon this First Nations lands. Yeah.
Which cultural and traditional norms would they be? Because you hadn't even invented the wheel by the time the English got here. Would that be the raping and pillaging of other tribes? Would that be, okay, guys, just let's knock it down and leave, hey? And see what happens to them.
Yellow.
Bloody idiot. So, okay. Oh, my God. He's insane. These people don't think before they speak, do they? They really don't. Holy shit. I reckon we should knock it all down and go home, even though this is most of Australians' home, even white Australians who had ancestors who come from England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Italy, Greece. Yeah, let's just knock it all down and let the Aboriginals have it and see what they make in like 100 years. Guaranteed it'll be hell on earth. Okay, Daisy May sent a couple of letters to the editor from the Daily Telegraph this morning because apparently Anthony Albanese has decided he's Catholic. Okay? Finding his faith. How much lower can Anthony Albanese stoop? While much younger Albanese may have had a Catholic upbringing, not so long ago he became an atheist and turned his back on religion. Why is it now, in the middle of an election campaign, he rediscovers his faith? That so-called crying on television over the Pope was all an act so good it would put Al Pacino to shame. Albo was just chasing the Christian vote. That was T. Fisher from the Mid-North Coast. I can't believe our Albo wasn't in Rome for the Pope's funeral, gushing all over the true world leaders, even non-Catholics. Missed a few photos there, Anthony. Yeah, a few photo opportunities, mate. You missed it. I've already done that one. MAGA Voice said breaking Liberal protesters are outside the FBI headquarters. They want the FBI to drop all charges against Judge Hannah Dugan. Keep her locked up. And there was 2 different judges that I got a bit confused on my last live. There are 2 judges, I believe, that have been arrested for doing weird shit. Okay, Ripcord said Julian Assange re-enters the world stage attending the Pope's funeral. Expect to see much more of him, and that was done the other day. Okay, my microphone's about to fall off the arm that's holding it. That is the news for today. So I'm going to go through the comments now. Where was I up to? Okay, around here somewhere. Raymond says, Debs, and I see you got a spanner, bless you, haha. Deb said yes, and it was great giving Shannon some shit. Deb said, I was wondering how you were, Eyes. I said, Debs, it's crazy over here in England, all the chats fighting and arguing. I just cannot be bothered, so I hid my channel. I'm sick of it all. I hear you. He said, Debs, Shannon, some poo, haha. J1 said, hi, Heaven Crew. How you going, J1? D. Lee. Good to see you guys. I said, please hit the like and notification bell for Hev. Oh, there you go. It jumped. Here we go. We're back there. Deb said, there does seem to be an issue with the thumbs up button. Does there? Can everyone do me a favour and hit the thumbs up button, see if it moves for me? Because I can see it right here. It's 25 likes, 32 watching. Can everyone just check they've hit the like button, please? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It all helps. Yep, Raymond said, Debs, do you remember a few years ago I donated to Hev and YouTube took a channel down and wouldn't give her the money? I complained and they would not give it back to me. They stole it. They did. I remember that, Eyes. It was £500. Okay, and they took it. They just took it and deleted my channel. Deb said, yes, Eyes, we will never forget. Yeah, I won't ever forget, Eyes, believe me. I'll back you up to get it back, mate. Seriously, if we could, I would. It's gone up to 26 likes. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Del said, good evening, Planet Fuck. Hi, Hev from Caliph of Londistania. How you going, Del? Good to see you. I feel sorry for you guys. I feel sorry for all of us, actually, but, you know. Holy crap. Lucette said, have you heard? Spain reached its net zero goal. Now there's a massive power outage in Spain. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That's the only way to reach net zero is turn the power off, really, and eliminate us too, because we are CO2, and we are the CO2 they want to get rid of. Raymond said, this man has latex mask over his head and on his hands. Dealey said, if anyone wants to pay, there are some videos on Locals by the People's Voice on Spielberg and Big Mike and children. Dell said, Deb, good evening, tips hat ma'am. Dell said, always a pleasure. Europe's in arms and not a peep on mainstream. Raymond said, people think Pope just dies. Oh, nope, he was executed years ago. They've been using CGI, body doubles, and holographic technology. Eyes, that wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. And sorry, Raymond is eyes. Yeah. Just so everyone knows. In case you're wondering who, you can't see eyes in the comments because it's Raymond, okay? Hey, George, how you going? Kai. Have I said hello to everyone yet? No, not yet. Lucette, how you going? Why all this kowtowing to Muslims in Western countries? I don't understand the Islam love-in. Okay, it's to create, it's divide and conquer, okay? To divide the country, let us fight each other, and then they rule over the ashes. So it's order out of chaos as well as divide and conquer. Kai said it's mostly the dumbest people with no sense of self doing the supporting. Got to feel special. Yep, I think so, Kai. Out to Lunch said, is that group of people use their hands to wipe with and poop in holes? Probably. Dealey said, glad to see your eyes. Deb said, Pauline's been trying to tell us years that she has. That's why I would stick with her and vote One Nation first. If I could, if they're in there. If they're not, then vote for whoever you want. I mean, vote for whoever you want anyway. That would just be my preference. Sorry, I'm trying to sip my cup of coffee and it's bloody hot as. Okay. Out to Lunch said, use left to wipe and right to eat. Dealey said, out to lunch. I think you're right. They wipe with their left hand, by the way. Out to Lunch said, Kay, doing okay? Are you all right there, Kai? Kai said, by the way, there's a new flesh-eating STD. I'm sure there is. Wasn't that monkeypox? Out to Lunch said, I think it offends them to hand something to them with the left hand. Oh, interesting. Kai said it's considered dirty and an assault. Dealey said it has something to do with shaking hands with the right. Out to Lunch said, riding the waves, brother Kai. Kai said, they start tribal wars for less. Dealey said, flesh-eating STD. Out to Lunch said, they are the dirty ones. Deb said, YouTube is stopping your thumbs up. Is it? Yeah, I've only got 26 likes. There were 33 people watching, but it's gone down now. It's gone back up to 30. Out to Lunch said, wash your hands. Hey, Maria, how you going? Hope you're doing well too. J1 said, no such thing as a DEI robot, lols. Kai said, one surgery done was cutting spinal cord above and below a damaged spot and reconnecting the spinal cord. Patient in rehab to walk. Wow. Out to Lunch said, oh, that crazy lady screaming, wanting us, I mean the entire world, to eat babies? No shit. J1 said, look out for robots with purple hair. Oh, yeah, they're the ones you really got to watch. I think they're NPCs. They had no idea why they were even protesting. That's an NPC. Lucette said, I mentioned the other day I sent an email to a supposed medbed centre and they replied saying an appointment will cost £500. It's a scam. It sounds like it. Yeah, unfortunately. It's only for the rich at the moment, Lucette, I think. That's what they're doing. Kai said, robot girlfriend, talk about jerking off, completely off. Kai said, settings at extra gentle. Yeah, YouTube, I'm trying to do the right thing here by you, but I don't know because you keep changing the rules and some rules apply to some people and others apply to other people. So I don't know anymore, YouTube. Kai said, what did they do to her? Kai said, anybody? Dealey said, Kai, I think it was forced marriage. Kai said, oh, damn. Lisette said the Pakistani girl, Kai, they tried to make the 14-year-old girl sign a marriage contract To marry a 40-year-old man, sorry. Kai said, that's sexual slavery. Deb said, get married, sign marriage to an old man. Yeah, no. Out to lunch said, I think Salty Cracker did something on her. Deb said, yes, it is. Kai Dealey said, the 14-year-old girl seems old considering they prefer 6 to 9-year-old girls. Yeah. Deb said, it's Crown land. Yes, I did vote early. Kai said, it's sad and unforgivable. Deb said, they at least waited till she was 14. They marry the girls at 6 years old there. Yeah, they do, and they wait till they're not. I think the minute they get their monthlies is when these people start to think they can just sleep with the girls. J1 said slaves to the system. Out to lunch said, I can't find it here, but I sure remember it, I think. Kai said, I love Meet the Guys, father and groom. Lucette said, that voting ballot paper looks so complicated. It's not really, just number them. 1 to 8 on one of them. Where is it? Let me go back and see. Okay. Yeah, just number 1 to 8 here and 1 to 6 here. That's it. 1, 2. That's it. So you put your first choice, whether it's Libertarian, Pauline Hanson's One Nation, Australian Christians, Family First, Trumpeter Patriots, or Liberal Nationals. And whether it's Independent, Labor, Trumpeter Patriots, One Nation, the Greens, Libertarian, Family First, and Liberal. I'd go last. Yep, they've done last with the Greens. I don't know who this person. I'd have to look at this person to see where to place them. But if they're anything like a teal, I'd put them second last, and then Labor third last, and Liberal fourth last, and then name 1 to 4 with the ones that do look good. And by the way, they don't preference, you do. This is what your preference is: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are your preferences. They cannot take them from you. So just wanted to let people know that. J1 said Topher vid on government ripoff with supermarkets. Yes, it was a very good J1. Very good. It is not the supermarkets that are ripping people off. It is the government and their inflation that is ripping people off. By the way, Topher Field also did another video. It was either yesterday or today, and it's about home ownership and your tax. The tax on a home is like 75 or 85%. Let me just have a look and see if I can find that again. Topher Field, I've got him up here now. Where's his videos? Let me have a look. Rain Man David Burton has been proven right. Is Albo a closet communist? How I would vote in every state and territory. You're being ripped off at the supermarkets. Where was the one I seen? It was 85%. I'm sure it was 85% tax when you buy a home. Was it 85%? Maybe even 75%, right? Either way, that's a huge rip-off. Even if it was 65%, would be insane. But I believe I came across the video and it said 85% of buying a new home is tax. Lucette said Kai and the mother too, who was throttling her own daughter. Yeah, exactly. Kai said, I cannot help but express that I find the culture disgusting and evil. J1 said Lucette, it's barbarism. See, they would love the whole world to be Muslim because they're easier to control. That's my belief, okay? It's just my opinion and my belief. It doesn't mean everyone has to believe the same thing. Rod said, Kai, how's it going, brother? Dealey, and how you going, Rod? Dealey said, I agree, Kai. Kai said, a sickening people. Deb said, fearmonger. Lucette said, we're having another mini heat wave here in England, but temperatures have never beaten the summer of 76. I remember that summer fondly. Out to lunch said 91 Fahrenheit in northeast Mississippi. Kai said 76 was freezing in Alabama. 2.5 inches of ice overnight. Wow. Out to lunch said, I know I didn't dream the videos. Lucette said 1976 was cold in Alabama. J1 said, hey, out to lunch. Kai said there was an ice storm that winter. Oh, okay. Rod said, get tired of the shit at times. I know, I hear ya. J1 said, horror movie right there on my TV. Yep. There's a horror movie right there on my TV. A horror movie right there on my TV. Out to lunch said, Jay, do you mind I get a J from you? J1 said, out to lunch. I gave the J's away about a month ago, bro, lols. Kai said, does anyone remember a story from about 18 years or so about a man eating giant saltwater crocodile they captured? Well, they eat crocodile here in Australia. Out to lunch said, never mind, I got one. Kai said, Gustav. Rod said, croc lost, Kai. Lucette said, Hev, more immigrants moving into new homes while people are sleeping rough. Serco is very sinister organisation like BlackRock. Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah, I've heard of Serco. Out to lunch said, Florida man had big jokers in swimming pool. Kai said, I was following it very closely and remembered that they captured him, but yesterday found a video saying they didn't. J1 said, out to lunch, getting back into weight training this week instead. Well done, J1. Kai said, Rod, they call him Gustav and he was captured, as I remember, and watch at the time. They stripped down a truck to strap him to the frame. Deb said, Trump will not take his call, Albo. Yeah, no, he won't, because Albo censors people and the Australian government censors people. And more. They're treating their people like shit. Rod said, got to move forward tonight, Kai, and all. Good to see you. Kai said he almost wriggled out of the tie-downs too, but yes, they say never captured. Lucette said, I've got to go now. I'm falling asleep. Bye, everyone. Bye, Lucette. Have a good one. Kai said, but yesterday they say. Everyone's saying good night to Lucette. Rod said, have Mac with a cat and a thumbs up. Kai said, I remember he had got sick in captivity and bought it. MJ said, after poop passed, now there's a Muslim guy saying he's the guy. This is asserting I am so serious. He says he's the successor, Jesus and Muhammad. See the React files? This is disturbing. Yeah, I just showed it, so that's good. D. Lee said there was a helicopter crash near me a few days ago, never made the news. Really? Kai said, MJ, I saw that guy, looks evil. Rod said, all bullocks. Deb said, give Lucifer back. Kai said, like movie villain, evil. MJ said, Kai, by God, he ain't good. D. Lee said, MJ, I seen that, looked like an AI to me. Tim Hare said, I still blame the tower, air traffic control, a.k.a. ATC, for that accident in DC. This is a hill I will die on, lol. Good on you, Timmy. Good to see ya, and I'm glad you're okay. Started getting worried there. MJ said, Egyptian descent, this is not good. Now I get the flooding of the young guys to GB, Great Britain. Kai said he's advocated violence against kids. That might be a problem later. Rod said, Timmy, no, the transcripts show differently. MJ said, nope. Kai said, Timmy, hope you feel better now. Conchega said, Jew is a religion, not a race, same as being Catholic. Yes, I believe that too. Conchega. J1 said, definition of empty rhetoric. Rod said, the negative aspects are difficult to watch. I know they are. Deb said, well, that's convenient, isn't it? Robert, how you going? We're having crazy storms in America. Google Texas Cloud Machine. Look it up. You know they're everywhere. Yes, I do. Shannon, how you going? You got 10 minutes. Oh. Kai said, search up the most racist song ever. It's hilarious. I'll have to look at that. Deb said, hello, Riverland. Everyone's saying hello, Shannon. Shannon, go listen to that song. You'll pass out laughing. MJ said, honorary Asholian. Deb said, university's a crock. Conchega said, Shannon, why do you fly the white ensign? Are you ex-Navy? J1 said it's getting harder to leave anger at the door these days. It is. Kai said, ate myself, am half pizza tosser, half wagon burner. There you go. Well done, Kai. Deb said, can't do the job, get out. Exactly. Rod said, talk later. Oh, God love you, Rod. I know it gets depressing at times, but look, it's just to wake people up. All this stuff is. And tomorrow I'm going to do, I don't know if Rod can join us tomorrow, but I'm going to do something that's a little more inspirational tomorrow, okay? Not give up hope. Deb said clown show. Conchega said hot tip, all cops are foreign agents. They work for corporation, their policies. Shannon said good little sprog. Kai said females tend to become overzealous quite often in traditional male professions. Timmy said, Rod, definitely believe everything the news tells you. It's safer that way. Kai said, yeah, they would never lie. J1 said, Jelly Spines Inc. And J1 said, yo, Timmy. Deb said, how much is it paying to be a pain? I don't know, but I'm sure they get paid for it. Dealey said they all took turns with the auto pen. You reckon? Yeah, they probably did. Kai said, the thing is, though, every country except a very few are already victims of open borders and are basically invaded already. Shannon put up the Aussie flag. MJ said, You know, things that make you go, Things that make you go, yeah. Deb said, so much mental illness. MJ said, Rick from Walking D's. Shannon said, got to go back to work. Boo. MJ said, dead, lol. Hev not salty. Deb said, have a good day, Shannon. Everyone's saying bye, Shannon. MJ said, blue on black. I remember that song. Out to lunch said the security were active military, GP said. The Gateway pundit said, yep. Deb said, thank you, Hev. I thought I saw more blue. Lots of blue, said MJ. Out to lunch said, dude does kind of look like him. George said, take care, Shannon. Sherry, how you going? Sorry I'm late again. Yours seems to be an ongoing thing these days. Got a lot going on. Oh, so have I, honestly. I spent yesterday trying to appeal all these copyright claims on shitloads of videos. Some of them have been released. But yesterday's one by the Australian AFL? No, of course not. They're a woke bunch of tards, they are. Deb said, yes, we have one in Adelaide. They're trying to make it sound like future living. Oh, I'm sure they are. I reckon some people should try it. The ones who are asleep and think it's a great idea, they should move there first and we all get to watch. Kai said, just got the chat working again. Deb said they would not have had a country without our diggers. Exactly. MJ said, and all those feminists were fucking men. Exactly. No, Kai, I've got now 33 likes. Thanks, guys. Everyone hit that like button, fill it in. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Deb said, bastards stopped you getting thumbs up. Yeah, probably. Deb said, yes, get mum out of the house to break down the family. Exactly, Deb, exactly. And get a new, the other half of the population paying tax. So government gets bigger and richer, or kind of. They think it's their money to spend when they're supposed to be spending it on the public. Kai said, they're freezing my chat box and blocking comments. Kai, they do that to me too. And on videos that aren't even about politics, they do it. My chat freezes, so I have to close the chat and reopen it and, like, you know, miss people saying hello to you in certain chats and things, people who do know you and, you know. I get that too, Kai, on other videos, comment areas. Tim said ATC, within the controlled airspace surrounding an airport, has the full responsibility to maintain separation of aircraft. Special VFR on a helicopter is ridiculous, irresponsible, asked Kobe Bryant. Conchega said they come from India. They prove, but they don't like that fact being in the sunlight. There you go. J1 said, go back to sticks and stones, you wanker. MJ said, Tube U is wild as of late, Kai. Kai said, MJ, indeed. Conchega said, Albo is of Khazarian descent. Yes. I believe you said that the other day, didn't you? Yeah. Kai said, I think there's an engineered event approaching. I definitely think there's an engineered event approaching. Don't be scared, no matter what happens. Okay? Just hang in there, no matter what happens. Even if there's bombs flying above your head, just hang in there. Joanne Nelson, how you going? Like the African did to their whites now. They don't have food and nothing left now. Asking for them to return. Haha, idiots. Exactly. Because Britain brought modern civilization to all those countries. Whether you like it or not, they did. Okay. MJ said, I think you're right. J1 said, Rissole making day today, going full garlic this time. Oh, I did that the other day. Deb said he was not welcome. Joanne said, hey, everyone, sorry, just listening and watching the chat. Love you guys. Take care. Have a great day. You too, Joanne. MJ said, I'm fasting. Food talk. Yeah. Now, my stomach's growling now. Just started. Probably with a rissoles there, J1. But I've got food out there that I can go and eat, so I've pre-made some things. Everyone's saying hello to Joanne. MJ said, I hit like. Yeah, I've got it up to 34 likes now. If you can see that on the screen, it's up to 34, so you can check for yourself. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate that. Kai said, the repeated reminders about watching a movie highly suggest an engineered rapture. Deb said, I'm making dim sim. Oh, you're going to make my stomach hurt. It's coming. Joanne said, what time's dinner, J1? Hey, Menacing Muskrat, how you going? Good to see ya. J1 said, Joanne, lunchtime for me. Everyone's saying hello to Menacing Muskrat. Menacing Muskrat said, Canada stand elections are on now. Prayers for Canada, thank you. Yes, we are praying for Canada, Menacing Muskrat. Prayers, prayers, and more prayers. Seriously, because I think you were second. Canada was second after the US. And then I believe, yeah, the rest of us follow after that. So I'm hoping we're not far behind you, and I'm hoping it works out the right way, Menacing Muskrat. Kai said, Joanne, about 40 minutes ago here. Oh, Deb said, I have only 5, no matter how many times I go out and back in. Really? Yeah, Kai still sees 11. They're going up. Don't worry, guys. Thank you, guys. Joanne said, damn, missing that one, Kai. And cool, I'll be hungry when J1 enjoy. Then J1 enjoy. Menacing Muskrat's asking how people are doing. Dealey said, haven't seen Alex in a bit. I hope she's okay. I know she was scratched by one of the cats. I hope it's not infected or anything. And I hope she's okay. God love her. Kai said, okay, complete exit. Now I see 26. Okay. Deb said they laughed at Pauline. They did. For years they were laughing at her. They made songs about her. They put her in jail. Menacing Muskrat said, getting concerned for Alex. Kai said, Alex got by her cat. Oh, Deb said, Alex is improving. Oh, good. Menacing Muskrat said, who's Lucette? Oh, a lady that listens from England. George said, not seen Alex in over a week. Kai said, Hev, no, it's STD related to necrotizing fasciitis. I don't know what that is. Sherry saying hello to everyone. Deb said she's getting good sleep. Times have changed too. Oh, Alex is, yes, good on her. Because you need to be in a routine kind of thing, you know. And it's hard when the time changes here. Or it's hard just with the UK and Australia. They're like opposite, complete opposite. Kai said they were talking amputation of genitals as treatment. MJ said, Hev, this new STD is probably from the guys who were poking their colostomy sites. Probably. Kai said, maybe pop control, maybe excuse to continue sex swap outs, maybe. Sherry said, doing okay, Menacing, hope you're okay. Kai said, I mean Islamics. MJ said, Deb, I'm not a sicko, but Hev talked about that a little while ago. These people get grosser and lower they do. Menacing Muskrat said, still kicking, greenhouses humming away, got it to till up my garden. Yay. Oh, well done, Menacing. I saw your all your plants. They are beautiful. Good on you, Menacing Muskrat. Kai said, MJ, they've always lowered their bar daily, it seems. Kai said, Tony says I'm still recovering from March the 3rd, so I guess I'm okay. I feel okay. Sherry said, I dig my garden by hand. Menacing this year, I just don't have it in me. Still planning on growing a few things, though. Deb said, I understand, MJ. I've colostomy bag and made me feel sick, not you, sweetie. Menacing Muskrat said, alert, Pike's letter tells us that it will be against two religions, Islams and Christians. MJ said, okay, Deb, I wouldn't want that. You're lovely. Deb said, Sherry, I dig my garden by hand. I just ain't feeling it this year. MJ asked how Alex is. Kai said, Muskrat, yep, could very well be forced into confrontation also. Sherry said, yeah, I'm just exhausted these days. Yeah, I'm getting, it's fatigue. I'm getting fatigued as well. Dealey said, me too, Sherry. I'm so exhausted, not tired, no energy to do anything. I wonder if it's from the chemtrailing. You never know, Dealey. Because I'm feeling the same way, honestly. Kai said, I've been sleeping a lot too and extended napping. I have too. Menacing Muskrat said, Sherry, Dealey, Sherry, we're putting in new fences and we're done by the end of the day. Excellent, Menacing. Dealey said, I've been napping a lot too lately. Deb said, I've been watching Hev before my bag and you all have been my mental support, supporting me through my recovery. Oh, God love ya. Deb, our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers go out to you as well as everybody else. And Alex and Timmy and Kai and just anyone who needs prayers right now. Menacing Muskrat said, Dealey, Sherry, I figure the seeds are in the ground. I have something to look forward to. Lol. Oh, God love you.
Timar28 tipped $20. Regarding the new STD, the word you were trying to pronounce is pronounced necrotizing fasciitis. Necrotizing fasciitis. It's type of strep virus.
Thank you, Timmy. God love you, you legend. So it's fasciitis. Okay, fasciitis. There you go. It's a type of strep virus. I'm sure they haven't been playing in labs with that type of stuff either, you know. I'm sure they didn't just make that stuff up, you know. But thank you, Timmy. God love you. Okay, where was I up to? Dealey said Deb didn't know, sorry. Deb said, yes, cowboy girly cops, just look at them when it gets tough. Yeah, exactly. Look, it should be on merit. If the girls can do it on merit alone, that's fine. If they can't, they shouldn't be in that position. None of this equal opportunity employment, DEI crap bullshit. Sherry said, building a fence is a hard job, Menacing. Oh, hell yeah. Kai said, Muskrat, I did residential fence installation. It's hard at first, and it was just like anything else. Kai said, when you're not used to it, you find muscle you didn't know about because it hurts. Yep, I'm sure you do, Kai, like me dancing around my living room the other day, last week, whenever it was. I found muscles I hadn't used in years because I haven't danced in years either. But it was just me being stupid in my living room, lounge room, whatever you want to call it. Deb said, yes, my beautiful Hevites have been with me through some very rough, tough times. Thank you all so very much. Oh, God love you, Deb. Glad to be here, honestly. Out to lunch, said muskrat hunting. Dealey said, Kai, I'm finding new muscles all day, every day. Kai said, I did a lot of storage work too. Got big as hell, had sleep on my back, straight arm and legged, or they got tingly. Sherry said, we love you, Deb. Prayers for a quick recovery. Menacing Muskrat said, Deb, I know what you mean. Have a great little family here. Amazing. What a circle. It is, isn't it? Dealey said, Deb, we love you very much. Kai said, Bow, I'm old and my skin, now I'm old and my skin looks like that paper you stick in gift bags. Oh, Kai. Menacing Muskrat said, hello out to lunch. Them muskrats are tricky, hey? Deb said, I love you all so very much too. Deb said, I've eaten mine. I've changed to sweet soy with my dim sims. Ah, that's nice, isn't it, sweet soy? Kai said, I love you, Deb, and I pray to Jesus for your health to improve. Deb said, yes, I am now living my best life, much less pain. Thank you. You all did give me support at the time. Deb said, you don't heal without good sleep. Yeah, exactly. Menacing Muskrat said, polls close here at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Then the fun begins. Ooh, I'm praying for you, Menacing. Kai said in the finger pointing, the loser's guts will end the shift sounding like chickens, except saying, but... Yeah, that crap. Thanks, Dr. T. Oh, okay, you were talking about that, yeah, disease. MJ said foot play. Oh, my God, sorry, bad joke, not planters, it's strep. Kai retracted it, has a message retracted. Deb said the old fella Stormy has been taken timaglycinate vitamin. They have all the stuff he needed and he's getting better sleep. Thank God his mood's improving too. Well done, Deb. Kai's laughing. Timo said, laugh my ass off, Kai. Pat, how you going? Jesus is against religious zealots. It is a false idolatry. Walk and talk with Jesus, good for me. Yeah, exactly. And Deb said, hello, our beautiful Pat. Kai said, scribble that down. I'll remove it after. Oh, Deb said, less bitchy? Oh, good. So that magnesium glycinate works wonders for people's moods and stuff. Well done, Timmy. Okay, with that, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. But I'm planning and hoping tomorrow that we can go over... where is it? Where's my history? I swear to God, my history, when it's on autoplay, it will play anything. Okay, it was riots in China. Chinese citizens turn against CCP in a deadly something or other. Deadly attack. Modern life is designed to break you. And the silent battle of a woman with no support. I'm sure that's going to be riveting to some people. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be here tomorrow. Okay, guys, much love. Bye.